Good morning and welcome to the show, and thanks for waking up with us today here at Marine Max on Panama City Beach. And I'm here with Bob Fowler, our resident expert and boat maven.
I both know the definition of expert.
Did I overstate that a little bit, Bob? Anyway, you just had a class this weekend, a Coast Guard boating safety class.
Right.
Pretty good turnout, hey?
Oh, we always have a great turnout, and I started bringing in the auxiliary, Coast Guard auxiliary, over 13 years ago, and 10 months out of the year, except for July 4th weekend and Labor Day weekend. We have them in the first Saturday of every month, and it's a full day class. Starts at 8:30. They're through around 4:30, includes lunch and all the class materials, and they have a great time. We have a great time.
And that's all right here in Marine Max's classroom here on Thomas Drive.
That's exactly right. Our next one coming up is April the 4th.
Okay.
And so anybody can register for that class. There is a $35 registration. For the first family member, any extended and additional family members, it's $20 a piece.
Okay.
And that includes lunch and all the class materials,
so if you
certification, and you can get discounts on your boat insurance with that. With that safety class.
That's good to have.
Oh yes,
that's really good to have. It's like a safe driver discount.
Right.
Almost. Yeah.
So the next one is April the 4th. It's on a Saturday, and they can register by going to our website, marinemax.com, and the Panama City Beach store, and the event will be right there. Look up events, and they can register right there, or they can call here at 708-1317 and register for the class as well.
And these boating safety classes from the Coast Guard aren't really, they're not just for beginners, are they?
No. We've had, in fact, this past week, we've had folks that's been in boating for many, many years, and it's just a refresher for them.
Yeah, it's a great little refresher, I would imagine.
There's a lot of information. You go away with all the booklets and all the things, and it's a hands-on approach. The officers of the auxiliary do a great job, and there's 5 or 6 of them that does different segments of the course, and so it's really good.
That's
People
great
really
stuff.
enjoy it.
Now you've got a thing called WOW coming up, Women on Water.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I started that about 7, 8 years ago, and just WOW, it's Women on Water. And basically the first part, that's a 4-hour class and or course, and it's also a $35 registration fee. It includes it is a certified course. And that's taught by my commander with the U.S. Power Squadron, and they're the only entity of the U.S. Coast Guard that can do a certified class on water. So this includes in classroom half, and then the other half is actually out on the water, hands-on experience. In the
That'd be great for the ladies too, kind of demystify the whole boating thing.
It's only for the ladies. And two, we only take a maximum of 12 ladies per class because we want to make sure that they have plenty of time, hands-on experience.
Well, that's awesome stuff. And I also understand you've got a cobia catching class coming up.
Let me mention this about the WOW before
before we get on the cobia.
It is the 21st of this month. We still have a few openings, so they can also go to our website and look up the event WOW. They can register there, or they can call me, 708-1317. Email bob.fowler@marinemax.com.
Yep. Okay. marinemax.com. All that'll be there anyway under training and all. And now on to the cobia.
Yes.
Which is a really popular game.
That'll be Saturday, March the 14th. Always a very popular seminar.
Right.
And Tom Putnam, who owns all the half-hitch tackle stores, Ron Barrick, his manager, their service manager, great teacher of fishing as well. In fact, he's a professor at the college. He teaches a fishing course out there. And so they'll both be here talking about catching the elusive cobia. So it's going to be great.
That sounds like, I got to tell you, not just beautiful boats here. You've got a lot of knowledge right here under one roof. You've got these classes that are going on periodically.
Well, I tell you, I counted up through the end of the year, and we've had over 8,500 people attend my seminars in the last 13 years. And I get compliments all the time, and people emailing me after the seminars how much they're enjoying them. It's all free, and we'd love to have anybody that can come Saturday to our cobia.
Bob Fowler from Marine Max here on Thomas Drive in Panama City Beach. Thanks so much for getting us started.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you too, my friend. And we'll be right back after you're waking up with Don Weather. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Alan Graham from Counts Real Estate. And what are we talking about today, Alan?
Hey, Don. I always like to bring topics of interest, and usually they're relevant to what's going on right now in the real estate world with me. And so we have an unusual situation with a homeowner that decided to enclose a porch. And you know, that happens quite often.
I mean, if you're a handy guy and you're like, hey, I could do that, why should I pay someone? I'll do it myself.
That's exactly right. That's exactly the philosophy. And a lot of times these additions are done on existing porches that already have a roof over them. So there's no real reason to pull a permit. You're only putting up a couple of walls, and then you might add a window air conditioning unit, and you might add some windows and things like that. But when it comes time to sell that home, if you did not pull a permit, then that's going to come up as a question with the appraiser. Oh. And we had a gentleman enclose 400 square feet, put an air conditioning unit in it. 400 square feet at $150 a square foot can really add up to a lot of value in the appraised value of a home. And so
I can understand why someone would do that, because it's probably a really nice family space and it's comfortable now, and he probably saved a little money in the short term doing it himself.
Hey, it was his man cave. He put his sports stuff out there, a couch, a TV, a nice ceiling fan, and an air conditioning unit, and he could go out there and watch the ball game with his buddies. But the hoops that we're having to go through to get that additional square footage counted, because right now the lender won't lend the money because the house won't appraise for that. So we've got a closing that's stopped because of that 400 square feet. So how do we go back and get that reworked? We have to go get an engineer to take a look at it, certify that it was done structurally correct. Second thing we have to do is go back through the permitting process, which means that we have to go pull an electrical permit, a construction permit, and we have to have an energy code sheet filled out on it to take down to the building department. Now, they charge us double for the process because if you didn't pull it before you did the work, there's a penalty for that. So they charge double for each permit. And not only that, you've slowed or delayed the closing up, and so you've inconvenienced somebody who already has sold a home somewhere and are staying in a motel waiting for that home to close.
So this little addition, although it might have saved some money in the short term, in the long run, it's costing them a lot more in time and money and just inconvenience. Forget about it.
It would have been much cheaper to pull the permit and have it done correctly in the beginning than it is to follow up with this afterwards. But that happens all the time.
Yeah, especially if you're a handy guy. And you've got some tools and you know how to do that. And it's like, I can do that. But you've got to do it deliberately, and you've got to do it slowly, and you've got to do it right, I guess.
Right, and a lot of the companies that come in to do these room additions, Florida rooms, you know, they'll install an aluminum porch over the top roof, screen it in, and then somebody will get the bright idea at some point, let's just put glass in and put an air conditioning unit there. Nothing's really wrong with that. But in the end, if you don't permit it, it creates big issues at the sale.
Yeah, and word to the wise, you know, if you can get a contractor to do it, do it. But if you're a handy guy and you're going to do it yourself, where do you learn how to get all these permits and things?
Go to the building office, the Bay County Building Office on 11th Street. They've got a great resource there. They'll instruct you in how to do that. It is okay for you personally to do that for yourself, but just make sure you document it and use all the standard materials that a contractor would use, and don't take any shortcuts.
Right, especially when it comes to the electrical and all that, because that could be...
Well, you also want it to blend in with your home. You don't want to create an addition that looks like it was done by Tim Tooltime Taylor, if you know what I mean.
That would be me.
Yeah, the roof's kind of slanted, the electrical plugs are a little crooked, and that's real difficult because people that are looking at houses, they pick up on that stuff real fast.
Sure. You know, like just a light switch being in backwards. I've actually seen that in homes, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so you've got to do it right. Do it the first time. And when in doubt, just hire somebody who knows what they're doing if you can afford to.
That's right. It'll save you a lot of money and time in the end. And your home, which is your largest investment, will have a lot more value to you when you sell it.
It's good advice, Alan Graham. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Allison Smith from Herb Effects Lawn and Pest Control, and we're going to talk about your lawn and your grounds and what all we need to do in springtime. It's spring, things are starting to bloom and all that stuff, right?
Hopefully we're warming up, so I'm still not convinced we won't have one more cold freeze, but
well,
we're
that could
getting
happen.
Closer. I know. We
I know.
really do.
You know, last time you were here, we talked about how to trim back your shrubs and all that stuff. And the Laura pedlum that you advised me to cut down, I cut that,
And
like
you said
whacked
that
it in half.
correctly. Way to go. Okay.
Laura pedlum. I'm learning
You're
here.
learning.
See,
I
I'm
like it. I
teachable.
like it.
And the crepe myrtle that I had, that we had trimmed here, I cut that way back.
Okay.
Way back. But I did make sure to cut it like boop, you know, where there's a little natural Y or W in it. So hopefully it'll come back. Now, is it a good time to feed now, or should I have fed it already?
Wait a little longer. Here's the problem. If you put fertilizer out too early, if your shrubs and your trees and everything are still dormant, they're not going to suck it in. So it's just going to lay there. Depending on what variety you buy, it could get rained on. Your irrigation should still be running once a week.
Right.
So it may just get wasted. It may wash through our sand, and your shrubs aren't able to take it up yet. So you've put it out for no apparent reason.
So, you know, with the sandy ground we have here, I mean,
Everything
feeding is really
flushes
important.
through, right, so easily. If you have a company that's doing your lawn, a lot of people do it themselves. If you go to one of the big box stores and you buy fertilizer, they have it out right now and they have it on sale. Truthfully, everything they have is almost always going to be an instant release. You should not put anything on your lawn till like April.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you can put it out too early and you can actually do more damage. And really, really read those labels, because those bags, one, they're for specific types of turf. You put the wrong type on the wrong turf and you can completely burn your lawn. And two, one bag may say this covers 5,000 square feet and the one next to it may say it covers 15,000 square feet or 30,000. Read the ratio for what the bag and know how much square footage is actually in your lawn.
So, and you should own a decent spreader,
You
I
should
suppose.
get a good spreader, yes, but really pay attention to what the bag says for the square footage, because too much is not a good thing.
And not all fertilizers are the same either.
No,
I mean,
no.
So the stuff that's good for your grass may not be good for some of your shrubs.
Exactly, right. So
how do you know? I mean, you just have to Google it up, or
no, or call a professional. Call 850-230-1200.
yeah. Well,
No,
there you go.
But,
then. Yeah.
but if in doubt, read the label, read the bag, ask questions, know what type turf you have. If you have St. Augustine, what variety do you have? If you have Bermuda, what variety do you have?
I didn't know there was different varieties.
Yes, there are, and there are some fertilizers that are good for one type of St. Augustine that aren't good for another. So you really have to be careful what you're putting out.
What about pests? Is it time to start worrying about them? 'Cause,
Yes.
you know, I was outside yesterday throwing a ball around with my son, and it started getting real buggy around sundown. I mean, it's starting to warm
It's humid,
up.
right? Things are
Yeah.
coming out. For your home pest control service, like in your homes, this is the time of year you will notice millipedes, centipedes, especially inside your house. They don't do a lot of damage, but when they freak you out, you don't want to see bugs crawling through.
And they will freak you out.
And they definitely, and some different varieties can bite people.
Wow.
And this is a problem in your home. This is one of the first things you see this time of year.
Herbifex will take care of all that for us. If we hire you as a lawn service, you'll come out, you'll make sure.
Lawn
all of the-
treatment, we
Right.
have lawn division, and we also have the home pest control division, yes.
Oh, so you can make sure those millipedes don't invade the house.
Exactly. Yes, definitely.
But in between, is it okay for the homeowner to go out there and kill a few anthills?
Oh,
or-
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but you do have to. I guess what I'm getting at of this whole conversation is that timing is everything.
Timing is everything, and when in doubt, call and ask. We have a great extension office here, the Florida Extension Office. We have a very helpful office. And that is their job. There's one per county, and they're here to help homeowners with questions. Lawn, pest control, bugs. So if you have questions, Google it, look it up, but call the extension office.
Or call Allison.
Or
at
call Herbifex. There you go. We're glad
Herbifex,
to help.
Yeah. Or visit
definitely.
your website as well.
Yes, sir. Website or Facebook page.
Okay. Herbifex, thanks so much for
Thank you.
coming on the show, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week to see what our next step is to get a lush, a beautiful lawn.
Right.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Brant Carter from McGraw's Shoe Repair right here in Panama City. Brant, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
you know, my wife had told me, she goes, there's a shoe repair place in here in Panama City. I'm like, do they even repair shoes anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of like a dying art, isn't
It
it?
is. It is. There's only a couple of us around the area, within a few hundred miles actually, but it is a dying art. So.
You're what I guess they would call in the olden days as a cobbler.
Right.
I mean, where do you go to school for that? How do you learn how to repair
Well,
shoes?
you don't anymore. You got to end up buying a shop from someone that wants to apprentice you for a year or so. But there was a school in Oklahoma for years, and it closed up a few years back. So to get into it, and there's lots of people wanting to get into it actually, but you've got to find a shop and willing to buy them out and willing them to stay on a year or so and train you how to do it, because it takes a couple of years to learn how to do everything in the shop.
So it really is like an old-fashioned apprenticeship.
Right.
Learn how to repair, fix, build shoes, I guess.
It's not as easy as I thought it would be, to be honest. It took a little while to learn. There's a lot of different things you can do to them.
It takes a lot of skill, I would imagine, and experience, like you said. Now, we live in a disposable culture. You know, people go to these, big box shoe stores, you buy a pair, they wear out, you throw them out.
Right.
Who's your typical customer?
Customers that are buying nice things, nice leather shoes. They're not buying the $20 shoes they can get at the big box stores and throw out. They're buying shoes that are $100, $200 and bring them in, wearing the soles out, and we repair them and put them back to new state for about a fourth of the price of what the shoes cost. Now, your high heels for ladies and stuff, we fix them for around $10. So we do fix a lot of cheap shoes that way. But men's loafers and stuff like that you buy at the big box stores are not worth fixing. We usually tell them just to go buy them another pair.
But if you have a quality pair of leather shoes that maybe you spend a couple $100s on, and it's got a leather sole, and leather wears out pretty quickly, doesn't it?
Right, and we actually put usually better leather than came on the shoe. There's different grades of leather you can buy. A lot of people don't know. You can buy cheap stuff for prime leather, and we always buy the prime or super prime, and you get longer wear. A lot of people come in with expensive shoes, and they say, I only got 3 months wear out of these soles, but once you resole them, I get 6 months. Why is that? And that's why. We use better leather than the manufacturers use to begin with.
So you get your money's worth, but it's not only high-end shoe wearers and owners, but you got working people too that come in with work boots and things like that.
We work a lot of most of the good work boots nowadays that you can wear and don't hurt your feet all day. You're going to spend $150 on.
Sure.
And for $65, we can completely resole them, retreat the leather on them, new laces if you need new laces, new insoles. So we can pretty much change everything out. As long as the top leathers are in good shape, we can fix them up.
Yeah, after all, those boots are like a tool of your trade.
And you get them broke in.
You got them broke in. You're comfortable with them, and maybe you need to have them, spruced up a little or refurbished.
Right.
We got to run off to a break, but I know you brought some samples of your work here, and I'm dying to see what these shoes look like after you've had your way with them.
All right.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Brant Carter from McGraw's Shoe Repair right here in Panama City, and we got some samples of his work here. Brant, like we said in the previous segment, it's almost a dying kind of trade, but you've done some interesting things here, like what is up with this shoe?
That's a shoe lift for leg discrepancy. We don't do a whole lot of them that are that high. They were probably born that way with one leg that much shorter than the other. A lot of them we usually do it for half-inch lifts, which are hip replacements, knee replacements. All of a sudden you come out and you're a little bit short on one side, so the doctor gives you a prescription, you'll come see me and we'll put you
So you do orthopedic shoes there as well, and you do them custom fit.
Right.
Now I'm looking at this beautiful golf shoe here. Now, I guess this is a custom...
That is a custom-made shoe we do. We don't do it in-house. We've got a company that does that for us, but you come in, we fit you to the shoe. We've got different leather samples. You pick the style shoe you want, what leather you want it made from, what colors you want it made from. The golf shoes, the dress shoes, about 100 different shoes. They do make only 3 styles of the ladies, but very comfortable shoes.
And look at the bottom of this shoe. It's got a little floral pattern on it. I mean, how beautiful is that? There's some beautiful work here. And everybody loves a before and after shot. Okay, you be the judge. Which one's before and which one's after? It almost looks like a new shoe. It looks like a better sole and everything.
Yes, it is.
So if you have a really nice pair of leather shoes, like this fellow here had a nice pair of loafers, probably spent a few $100 on it. And instead of throwing it out, let me just get them resold. And
that's right.
He's essentially got a new pair of shoes.
About a fourth of the price, he's got a new pair of shoes again.
Now, what's going on with this thing? I guess the ladies know what this is.
Right. Ladies' shoe on this one here, a lot of ladies know this name with the red soles. She had worn the sole out. We come in, we put a protective sole back on in red, so now when she's never wearing it out again, if she does, we can just peel it off, put it back on there, and she doesn't lose the color. That's the big thing with these shoes is they want the red sole on.
That's a pretty pricey boot, isn't it?
Yeah, those boots are normally around $2,000.
Holy mackerel,
So
$2,000 boot.
Yeah, you want to protect them. You don't want to wear them out. You want to come see me when you first get them. Let me put this on there, and then they'll last you literally 20 years.
Yeah, so if you're going to make an investment in style like that, you should probably protect it by seeing you first before you go out and start.
Right. We can do the same thing on the men's dress shoes. They make protective soles you can put on them from the get-go, and you never have to get them resoled. We just peel the protective sole off, put them back on. You usually get 6 months to a year wear out of that protective sole.
So if you have, if you have quality shoes that you want to protect, you should probably, McGraw should probably be your first stop.
Right. That's
before
right.
you go out there.
And a lot of people do. They come in right from the store with their shoe boxes, leave them with us. We put the protective soles on them, and they're ready to go.
Now, if people want to learn more about it or get in touch with you, where are you located?
We're on the corner of Airport Road, 23rd Street. We're inside Bay Prosthetics, and our website's McGrawShoeRepair.com, and our phone number is 850-763-1891.
Brent Carter, thanks so much for coming on the show and putting up with me.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
We'll see you next time.